giant Shell has jacked up its dividend and says it's chasing growth. That despite a Q4 profit miss and what it calls an uncertain outlook for some parts of the world economy. I'm joined now by Chief Executive Peter Vosser. Peter, you're going to raise dividend 4.7%, invest $33 billion this year. That's a gamble, isn't it?
No, we are not in that business. We are in the long-term energy business, and we have seen now that our investments of the past few years are now paying out. We have increased our cash flow to $46 billion, and we have more opportunities now going into the next few years to deliver the growth. So it actually what we are spending is coming through, and hence you also see a reflection in the dividend of that.
Investors not particularly impressed by today's results, though.
I think a quarterly result is anyway not that important in my opinion. It is the long-term trend. But our results in the fourth quarter are actually strong. We delivered production growth, we delivered cash flow growth, we delivered EPS growth, and I think that is important for investors to see that what we are actually investing is now showing the results as well. Yes, we had effects like the gas price in the US, WTI, etc., but that is for us to manage. Important is production growth and cash flow growth.
Okay, something else that came out of your report today, reserve replacement. It looks pretty bad at 84% annually in the years ahead. How are you going to address that?
First of all, you cannot take a snapshot of a year on the reserve side. If you take 3 years, it's 115%, quite clearly. So it depends when you take final investment decisions of projects, etc. But we are pleased with the 3 years average, or you can take the 5 years average as well. So we are moving in the right direction. More important is actually that we, through exploration, we added potentially 4 billion barrels of reserves into our total resource bucket, whilst we are producing just 1.2. So we're adding more than what we are producing for the longer term. And I think that's an important message.
Okay, I'm going to jump around geographically a bit here, so bear with me. I'm going to start with Nigeria. Obviously, the Dutch court ruling earlier this week that you were responsible for oil pollution in the Niger Delta. How's that going to affect your business in Nigeria, and are you concerned about further lawsuits ahead?
I think let's be very clear what the court actually decided. The court decided that all spills which they were looking at were sabotage, actually not generated by Shell. All the things brought by Friends of the Earth were dismissed. In one case, they said that, in their opinion, we could have put some more protection to our pipeline so that the spill could not occur. We will look at that because we have done a lot of work the last few years of making sure that it is more difficult to sabotage our pipelines, and now we are making good progress. So we'll look at that. Important is, these are sabotage, these are not Shell spills, and therefore we are actually doing an operationally sound job in Nigeria. Let's see how we can improve.
So it's not going to have any effect on your operations there?
I don't think so. We are on track. We are a responsible operator. We work with the Delta people in order to make the environment safer, but we need the government and other stakeholders to help, because this is a criminal activity which generates $7 billion earnings for those criminals every year, and we cannot fight that alone.
Okay, going north a bit, are you going to drill in the Arctic?
Arctic has 20% of the yet to be discovered oil and gas resources. We think we have the technology to do that. Therefore, we are looking at our Arctic activities over the next few years. We are in the early parts of a multi-drilling year program, and we are looking on what can we learn out of 2012 in order then to go forward. So therefore, the answer is yes, we will be part of those developments, but we will pace it in accordance to our own assessment of how we want to develop those areas.
Okay, and finally, I'm heading back east towards Europe. You've signed a deal for shale gas in Ukraine. Are you looking at other shale gas deals here in Europe?
I think general shale gas and shale oil is a key strategic theme for us. Therefore, we want to grow there. We are looking at that. Europe is part of that analysis. We have signed the Ukraine deal, very pleased about that, a 50-year deal. It's too early to say if we do more in Europe, but we're clearly looking at the geology, at the regulations, etc., to see if we can do anything here. Prime focus is Ukraine, Turkey, North America, some parts in South America, China and Australia for the time being.
Okay, and just to finish up, I want to ask you, how close were you to putting in a bid for BP in the last couple of years? Is it something that you were thinking about? And if you were thinking about it, are you still thinking about it?
I don't comment on these things anymore. As I said in an earlier interview, we're all business people. We look at a lot of options every day and every month, and I just leave it at that, because otherwise it just generates the wrong headlines.
Wrong headlines for you, the right ones for us, perhaps. Peter, thank you very much. That was Shell CEO yes. Peter Vosser. More Economy 2013 shows available to view now, including our interview earlier with Diageo CEO Paul Walsh. I'm Jamie McGeever. This is Reuters.